Social Development Committee said previously that grant beneficiaries were still struggling at the various sites in accessing their grants. The Post Bank was also accused of failing to issue enough black cards before this month's deadline for the gold card replacement. Post Bank CEO Nikimbengashe says their statistics point to a big improvement after issuing over 300,000 cards in just 12 days, as they approach 1 million cards in total.
I can tell you today we are sitting at over 900,000 cards that we've issued to date as of Monday. So we're very close to 1 million cards.
Babalo Ndenze, Eyewitness News.
And as celebrations for the Lent religious season are starting without Pope Francis, the Vatican says his condition is stable. The 88-year-old head of the Catholic Church is nearing 3 weeks in hospital battling pneumonia. He suffered a worrying series of respiratory attacks since his admission to the Gemelli in Rome last month, the most recent on Monday. The leader of the world's 1.4 billion Catholics has not been seen since his hospitalization, with audiences cancelled and Francis missing 3 successive Sunday Angelus prayers, a first in his papacy. On the weather front, a partly cloudy Thursday in store for Gauteng tomorrow with isolated thunder showers expected. Joburg dropping to an overnight low of 16 degrees, peaking at 28. Pretoria 19 and 31, Vereeniging 16 and reaching a high of 30 degrees. Lerato Hufela, Eyewitness News.
EWN, in touch, in tune and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
MSW. You may begin to feel anxious or excited.
Honest, deliberate, engaging, uncensored.
High dosage administration can cause adverse reactions.
And most importantly, independent in mind and execution.
This is a normal response. Are you ready?
Marawa Sports Worldwide.
My only request to the approachers, please do not do the C word. I think every single South African is sick and tired of the C word. We are sick and tired of it. Everybody in the studio is sick and tired of it. All the shareholders are sick and tired of it. We've seen back-to-back semifinals and finals in all respective World Cups, and we have done that C word. That is to choke. We shouldn't be choking.
And insights like no other. Our esteemed cricket analyst, Gift Tiger. That for me, what does it take? Does it take that C word for all of that to come crumbling down again?
I think we've moved past the C word. We are now the finalists. We've got a new word now. Finalists. We just need to be the trophy winners. Then we can be the champions. We can go back to the C word, but the champion one.
So Football Kenya Federation President Hussein Mohammed believes that Benny McCarthy is the perfect replacement for Engin Firat.
To get straight to the point, he has the fire in the belly. One of those players and now one of those coaches. Benny came across as an individual who really had the passion for it.
And also about the difficulties, though, of working with the Kenyan Federation who had not paid their previous coach. McCarthy responded.
Transparency. That's always been Africa's biggest challenge, where there's no transparency. People say everything is okay. Then when you come there, nothing is okay. Nothing is as they say it is. I'm accustomed to that. If we can fix the football team, the Football Federation will also prosper.
And then please, Rob, can you tell us exactly? I know that your Scorpions are working day in and day out, even at night too. Can you tell us where is Khan, where is Vulagas? Which team is he currently joining? Which team is he planning to join? Thank you so much for the wonderful shows.
Robert Marawa, live on 947. Vuma FM, Rise FM, and Sowetan Live. #MSW.
Hello. All I can tell you is that South Africa need 145 runs in 63 balls to win. And just as Kesha Famaraj was stepping up to the crease, took 4 deliveries, scored 1 run, and he is now out. Kagiso Rabada takes center stage. It is Marawa Sports Worldwide, proudly brought to you by Hollywood Bets.
Marawa Sports Worldwide on 947, Vuma FM and Rise FM. Powered by Hollywood Bets.
Wednesday nights, soccer nights, your nights.
Right, I'll keep you up to date with what's happening, though. I remember the conversation very, very clearly from yesterday with Gift Aga. And I think there were a couple of callers, as you heard in that intro, talking about the C word. I don't know if any kind of miracle can happen right now, though. But yeah, as I said, South Africa in a very unfavorable position of needing 145 runs and 63 balls to win. It's semi-final, eh? It is the big one, but right now it looks like New Zealand have got the upper hand. It's a busy show, so looking forward to it. Looking forward to your interaction as well. Busy on the local front, busy on the international front, busy on the cricket front, but also somewhat busy as far as Marumo Gallants is concerned, because the newly appointed coach is already making waves. And after joining the team just last Thursday, he led them to a sensational victory in his first match, despite also facing a defeat as well. He's also emphasized, if you listen to him very carefully, the importance of instilling confidence within the squad, because that's one thing they don't have right now. And believing that with determination, with a bit of team spirit and also a fighting mentality, Gallants can not only avoid relegation but also become a competitive force in the Premier Soccer League. We're going to take a closer look now at his plans and also what we can expect, though, from Marumo Gallants under his leadership. And it is somebody that obviously we have not spoken to on the show before, but we are very, very happy, very glad that we were able to track him down as well. Pleased to welcome the coach, Abdeslam Ouaddou, who's a former Moroccan international. As a centre-back, back then also played for Fulham as well as Olympiacos. He's right here live on Marawa Sports Worldwide. Coach, thank you so much for your time. Good evening.
Hello, good evening. Thank you very much for your invitation.
You've settled down, Coach. How are things going at Marumo Gallants?
Yes, I'm settled down and very happy to be at Bloemfontein and especially in the club and Marumo Gallants. And I thank the board of the club and for the warm welcome. And to be honest, I'm very, very happy man to be in South Africa, one of the best and beautiful country in Africa.
Can't argue with you in terms of that observation, Coach. One thing I want to know, though, your motivation. What motivated you to take this role of the head coach at Marumo Gallants?
I think it's a big honor for me to be the coach of such big club and a very beautiful city. You know, like I said, the task is not easy. But like I said to the players, that we have quality players, interesting mentality, fighting spirit, and we have to save the club.
And that's the important thing. Saving the club is one of the most important things. But since you started, as I mentioned in the introduction, that you've had a very, very good result and obviously tasted defeat at the same time. What did you figure out needs to happen at Marumo Gallants to gain the consistency?
You know, the first task was to give confidence to our player because, in football, sometimes you need to change some things and to give confidence to the guys. And after, as the team conceded a lot of goals, the target to strengthen the team, to bring some compactness and give them some principles to defend well. Of course, it's not easy because I've been here for like 10 days, but I plan in the future to maybe to work more in order to have a nice football, to play some nice football and to create chance and to be more ambitious. But for the moment, the most important is to take points.
Yeah, and you did take points, especially with the Orlando Pirates. I want to use that game as an example here, Coach, because here's a game where you get the 3 points, you get pretty much a clean sheet, you score the 2 goals, but Pirates enjoy the better of the ball possession. In fact, they had 72% of the ball possession, you only had 28%. What then was the difference? How were you able to churn out an outcome that people didn't expect, number one, from one of the best performing teams in the league right now, and yet they had such great ball possession but couldn't convert it to chances?
Yeah, it's the magic of football, you know. Sometimes when you have such big team, such talent players in front of us, you have to find solutions. And we tried to bring a mid-block with compactness. But inside this compactness, we need to work, and we try to deny all the space Orlando Pirates. Of course, they had the possession. Maybe it's like 60%, 65%. But the most important is to know what you want to do, to know your target, and how you want to do it. It was not easy because I can say that in the first half, Orlando Pirates had many chances. But thanks to the brave of our players, the fighting spirit, the solidarity, we managed to play in a counter-attack, and we managed to score some goals. It was okay for the players, and it gave us a lot of confidence. But unfortunately, you have to be consistent and to be regular, to take points.
Yeah, I was going to say, though, that when you've had 78% or 72% of the ball possession, but you've only had 3 shots on goal, which is what Pirates did, you had 5 shots on goal, managed to score 2 of those particular chances, and that's how the game ended. What then, if somebody is listening now who's trying to understand, what is your favorite style of play? What is your approach? What philosophy in football do you believe in?
I believe on victories, because when you play football, you want to score 1 more goal than the opponent. And of course, there is many ways to do it. For me, my philosophy is to have possession. I want to be dominant with the ball. I want to overload the ball side and to imbalance the opponent and to try to find the free space in order to finish in the final third in the box, in order to bring numbers in the box and to score. But this is my philosophy. When I came to Marumo Gallant, I studied the team and we conceded a lot of goals. Like I think we are the worst defense. So when you are sick, you try to make a diagnosis and to analyze and to give treatment. And the treatment with my staff was to bring strength, compactness, some rippers, and some principles to our team. For example, I will give you an example. Mm-hmm. I need to give some rippers to my team to know when, where, and how we will cover the ball. As soon the 11 players on the field can answer collectively to that question, I think that you can manage to be strong, and it's what we did. But in football, you need to attack as well, not to defend during 90 minutes. It's what we are going to do with my staff in the next few weeks to try to give some principles in order to balance the team, to progress, and to finish in the last third, and to win games and to be able to score. I can tell you that when you come in a club, the most difficult is to teach to your players some attacking principles. So as I didn't have any time, I have chosen to be strength and to teach them some defensive principles that are more easier to learn quickly.
Yeah, I think that's very important. And, I'm listening and I'm saying that maybe the next time I have a conversation with you, I would want to ask you the question of how your players answered the when and the where and the how to recover the ball. So that's a conversation for our next chat today, Coach. But the one thing that really stands out for anybody is the fact that Marumo Gallants, as it stands today, have got their worst defensive record in the league right now. You've conceded the most number of goals, which is 31, only scoring 16, which would be a concern for many, many coaches. Do you believe, though, from what you've seen in your 10 days, that this club needs to either go into the market at some stage, find a striker, or do you think, though, that from the academy or the youngsters that are there, you could plug that gap and be able to score more goals than you're doing right now?
That's a very interesting question. I think, to be honest, that we still have 11 games. We are in rush. We don't have time to look for any strikers because the market is closed. And I'm very happy what the players that we have. They are interesting players. They have qualities, but we have to work on training, to give them confidence and to give them some repairs as well. But in the reserve team, I have been watching them. I think there are one or two players that are interesting. So I invite them to train with us, and hopefully we will work with them. And but for the moment, we will focus on the players that we have, and we will work with them. We will make them better, and I am sure that we will save the club. And afterwards, we will sit with the board and to see how we can improve the club and how we can help them to be more ambitious and not to play the relegationship next season.
All right, finally, just the coach, I want to find out from you, how important is it to win a cup? Because this is a stage that Marumo Gallants have been in before, especially within the Nedbank Cup. You play against Durban City away this coming weekend. What are your thoughts ahead of a cup game versus what you need to do in the league?
Yeah, you have to find the right balance, because you are in trouble. You are a team who are in the relegation zone and need to save the club. But in the other hand, you have a very interesting competition that everybody wants to win, because it can give you the chance to qualify to the CAF Cup and to put in light the club in Africa. So we have to be clever to find the right balance and give chance to the other players maybe as well, in order to have some fresh blood for the league. But we don't have to forget that the most important for us now is to save the club. Of course, the PSL is our priority, but we will not give up for the cup. The cup is very important for us.
Coach, what's an absolute pleasure it's been chatting to you. Welcome to the country. We look forward to seeing you in person. We look forward to watching you and your team play and improving, as you say. And once again, best of luck. And thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Thanks so much, man. That's the head coach of the Marumo Gallants team, newly appointed head coach Abdeslam Ouaddou, joining us right here on hashtag MSW Marawa Sports Worldwide. Also another big night here. I guess if you're an Arsenal fan, you'd be very, very happy from what you saw last night. The Arsenal manager as well, Mikel Arteta, well, he's joked that he knew that Arsenal would put 7 past PSV Eindhoven as he held a historic and unbelievable night for his players, that all of them but securing their place now in the quarterfinals of the Champions League. Now a double from Martin Odegaard, as well as individual strikes from Urian Timber, Ethan Nwaneri, Mikel Merino, as well as Leonardo Trossard and Ricardo Califori sent Arsenal on their way to a thumping 7-1 triumph, the biggest away win in the Champions League.
That's what we want, but at the end it's a thing of execution. Today we were exceptional. We talked before the game, boxes in the Champions League are critical. You have to dominate them. We haven't done it in the first action and they score a goal. Another one is a penalty. But when we're in the other end, we were phenomenal today. And his willingness is for sure going to be there. The quality of execution, that's something else. I mean, that's the beauty of it, Nobody in this room, if I give you an envelope, say, can you predict what's going to happen tomorrow and who is going to score? That's the beauty of football. In football and you do very well today, put your head down, be humble, analyze how you can improve, because the next game is going to be completely different to this one, and nobody can write the script, unfortunately, even if we would like to.
Right, so what about tonight, though? The Liverpool manager, Arne Slot, insists, though, that his side do not deserve to be called the best team in Europe until they've won the Champions League. In his pre-match press conference, the Paris Saint-Germain counterpart, Luis Enrique, heaped praise, though, on the Dutchman for the strides that he has made since taking over the unenviable task of succeeding Jurgen Klopp. Now, Liverpool topped the new format group phase table, have also 13-point lead, though, in the Premier League, and will try to defend their Carabao Cup in a couple of weeks' time.
It's a nice compliment to get, but the best team in Europe has to win the Champions League, and we are far away from that, starting with a very difficult game tomorrow, and then all the difficult ones that are coming up, because we already know the draw. So I think the best team in Europe at the moment is still Real Madrid because they won this competition last season. And to say, for us, someone else can say something different, but for us to say that, then you first have to win it before you can say this.
MSW live now on 947 Vuma FM, Rise FM, and Sowetan Live at the same time.
MSW. Introducing the all-new iPhone 16e 128GB from Vodacom, Mzansi's fastest 5G network. Get it now for only 799 Rand per month over 36 months on a 2.8GB Redcore plan. Enhance your deal when you add 49 Rand extra per month and get the Beats Solo Buds. Available in-store and online. T's and C's apply. Further together. Vodacom.
Knock knock.
Who's there?
An unbeatable build-it deal.
An unbeatable deal for who?
For you. It's the 1.8 by 2.1 meter aluminium sliding door for just $2,199.99.
No way. That's perfect for my next project and my budget.
Better hurry. Promo ends 8 March. Only at Build It, where you can open doors to better possibilities.
Yes, we can!
From cool beach hangouts to underwater adventures. From indoor tropical rainforests to thrilling theme parks. A Dubai holiday has it all. Fly better to Dubai with Emirates and start your holiday the moment you board with delicious regional meals, complimentary drinks and amazing entertainment. Book now on Emirates.com. Fly Emirates. Fly better.
Shop your share 1 billion Rand in savings with Spar Rewards until 21 April. Sign up to Spar Rewards and get more every time you're at the till. Get 5 kg Spar frozen chicken, mixed portions for $179.99. Or 2 kg Tastic long grain parboiled rice, brown or soft and absorbing for $39.99. Save 7 Rand. Price is valid until 9 March while stocks last. T's and C's apply.
Okay, all done.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you so much.
You won't get any more leaks. I've put Flash Harry on the roof.
Oh!
You do know Flash Harry is a waterproofing expert. He's been around since 1975.
Are you just going to leave him up there then?
Not everyone knows Flash Harry is the expert in DIY waterproofing solutions that are available in all good hardware stores. Flash Harry. It just works in a flash. Find your nearest stockist at flashharry.co.za.
The reels are getting bigger at Lotto Star. Get ready to feel the thrill on our brand new exclusive slotteries. Lucky Lobola, Japanese Fortune and Kwaito Queen. With amazing features like scatters, wilds and slot bots. You could win instant payouts of up to 10 million Rand. Spin the reels now. Only at Lotto Star. Your world of live games. Lotto Stars licensed by the Mpumalanga Economic Regulator. No under 18. NRGP 0800 006 008. T's and C's apply. All games are fixed odds betting events.
Previously on Marawa Sports Worldwide.
And insights like no other. Our esteemed cricket analyst, Gift Laga. The world kind of panders to the whims of whatever the Indian national team wants. And I think this has been a clear case of the world really doing exactly that. They got to play, or meant to be playing in Pakistan, but they opt to, for security reasons, we are told here, Gift, that they choose to play in Dubai.
Yeah, it's deeper than cricket. I think the cricketers had no option but to follow, the advice of their country, the government. So I think it's a political incident that happened long time ago. But the cricketers had no choice in this instance. I know Pakistan did play some of their games in India during the World Cup, but their security obviously cleared them to go play there. But in this instance, the Indian guys, the government didn't clear them. So the ICC had to come up with a backup plan, because it would have been sad to have a World Cup without India.
#MSW.
#MSW. Evening, Tarop, and evening to the listeners. Tarop, the Proteas abafuna ukunconywa. Siyabancoma ukuthi abeza kahle labantu laba. Namhlanje hayi. Uhulumeni ushilo ukuthi it doesn't want to use the C word. I think namhlanje we can fully say it. They've choked. Ayikho lento yalabantu. Akumelanga sibancome. Sibancomile ukuthi beza kahle. Namhlanje they do the total opposite of what they've been doing ever since the tournament started. So, Tarop.
Hey, that aish at the end was very painful. I feel you, I feel you, I feel you. I think that's the feeling right now here in the entire studio as we're tracking down the score. South Africa needing 108 runs in 29 balls to win. I think Kagiso Rabada, since coming on, has been having a great deal of fun. He's had back-to-back fours. He's got to double figures now. He sits on 16 of 21 balls. David Miller is out there at the crease still, 45 of 41 balls. So ultimately, we always rely on the big hitting David Miller to pull something out. But I think also right now, though, I don't know, mathematicians, anybody who can save us. Not looking good at all. But we'll keep you up to date. So if you're driving, don't worry. We'll let you know as soon as anything happens. There's still Ungiti to go as far as the batting is concerned for the Proteas. Well, one thing I thought I'd mention, though, before we bring in our guest, I found this during the day and I thought to myself, football is evolving in so many different ways. And we were told this afternoon that the FIFA president, Gianni Infantino, he has confirmed that the 2026 Men's World Cup final that's going to be hosted in the United States of America will include a halftime show for the very, very first time. So, as you know, that the final is set to be played at the MetLife Stadium in New Jersey on the 19th of July, 2026. Never, ever in the history of the tournament, I suppose from the inaugural competition back in 1930 to now, has there been a halftime show. But Infantino did confirm, though, that there's going to be a breakaway from the tradition after speaking at a World Cup event in Dallas. I can confirm, and I'm going to say exactly what he says. He says, I can confirm that the first ever halftime show at a FIFA World Cup final in New York, New Jersey, in association with Global Citizen, is going to be happening. He says this will be a historic moment for the FIFA World Cup and a show befitting the biggest sporting event in the world. I don't know what your thoughts are. I mean, I know it's going to be in America. They're going to be working with the British group Coldplay to help produce this halftime show. Hey, can't get more American than that, guys, eh? It really can't get more American than that. I'm just trying to imagine how that's going to work out, eh? They're going to have to be very, very quick for that 15-minute break to give the performance and then clear unless they extend that as well. You never know. These days, things change a lot in football globally. So right now, though, cricket fans, SA needing 107 runs and 27 balls to win in the semi-final against New Zealand. As you know, India already through. It was around about this time last night where we gave you that particular outcome. So we were hoping to give you some good news tonight. Doesn't seem like it is. But believe me when I tell you, though, that there was a special time when every aspiring footballer in the country kind of dreamt, though, of being part of the SAFA Transnet School of Excellence. I mean, this was simply because the school had become synonymous with a wealth of raw talent, all carefully nurtured, developed into exceptional players. Now, all of these young talents long to walk the path of excellence, of mentorship and success. But sadly, though, over the years, not only have we witnessed a decline in the on-field talent, but also a general loss of excitement. I mean, the coverage, and you can also say the hope of anything happening that is surrounding the school. So the big question that we do have tonight is, where did things go wrong? Today we aim to find those answers as we're going to be shining the spotlight on what was once a very powerful cradle for the nation's soccer stars. The school has certainly faced its share of challenges, from financial obstacles to operational struggles. I guess through it all, though, they continue to do their best in nurturing young talent and also inspiring a little bit of hope, though, to the future of the sport. Our guest tonight is the school's football manager, and he joins us to discuss the hurdles that they've overcome and also the remarkable work that's being done to keep the dream alive. Because remember, in times of adversity, they're not saying, hey, we are packing our bags, we're shutting shop, and we're disappearing. No, they're not saying that. they're keeping the dream alive for those aspiring footballers right across the country, particularly the 1000 and 2000 generation. Is there hope? That's the big question. The SAFA Transnet School of Excellence football manager, Mojalefa Mathebula, is with me in studio. Good evening and welcome to the show.
Good evening, Mr. Marawa, and thanks for having us.
Don't worry, Mojalefa, Rob. We'll keep it informal.
Okay.
Good to see you, but I know that you've been here nice and early, avoiding the Sandton traffic. We do appreciate that.
Yes.
From your side. I mean, there's 10,001 questions one could ask about where we are with the Transnet School of Excellence. And am I wrong to even call it the Transnet School of Excellence? Because I'm not even sure if it's still sponsored by Transnet.
This SAFA Transnet Football School of Excellence still remains SAFA Transnet Football School of Excellence until the unbundling of the school is announced. But for now, it still remains as it is, and nothing has changed despite all the challenges that we faced. But we continue to work hard and serve South Africans.
A lot of people have felt that it hasn't been well run in recent years, you know, even within the past decade. Where would the greatest challenges, though, have been for you in your observations since your time there?
Well, I think I'll speak from my own perspective. I think when you compare, there are two eras. When you compare the first era, probably from 1994, run around 2005, 2006, School of Excellence was a monopoly. So you didn't have institutions that are competing at that level. And then over time, you then have a proliferation of academies coming up. And of course, the attention is going to move. You are not going to hog the headlines as compared to the past. But if you look at the school, we've able for since that around time, we've able to provide schooling for 120 learners. We've able to compete in the leagues. We've able to produce players. We are averaging between 94 and 100% metric pass rate, with over 50% university entrance. So from that point of view, I would have difficulties to believe that the school has not been run. We accept the fact that perhaps maybe the infrastructure might not reflect what people expect.
Because people have been talking about it being run down, you know, just the crumbling buildings. It's not quite in a state that it used to be. Because my understanding with SAFA was mandated to provide the technical support.
Yes.
And as per the mandate as well, the Transnet were responsible for sponsoring the school's operations.
Yes.
So between the two and what they were mandated to do, who, I don't want you to be pointing fingers, but who do you think is not pulling their weight so that we don't have a situation where the kids obviously are staying in infrastructure that is crumbling?
Well, with the question of SAFA, I think for some time, I think we are aware of their challenges as well. So they've not able to come on board as expected. So I think since I've joined the school from 2008, Transnet being the one that's been providing the funding, from time to time, SAFA will come in and assist, but not consistently. But in terms of the infrastructure, I think you also have to take into consideration that it's a building that was built in, I think, the 60s, if I'm not mistaken. So it requires quite a lot of maintenance. And with how things are turning out in the economy, inflation going up, I mean, you look at the price of electricity that we are paying at the school. Now you have to choose. Do we pay electricity? Do we refurbish? You know, so you then have a situation whereby the cost of operating rises quickly and, over above what you are getting in terms of budget allocation, and you have to make those tough decisions. And for us, it's about trying to create a comfortable situation with financial constraints that we are having. But when you look at from where the kids are staying, yes, it can be better. But I've seen academies, they are worse than what we are.
But you don't want to compare with the worst.
Yeah, I'm saying that if you look at the spectrum of a lot of academies, there are very few that you can say they are better than us, and for those are the ones that are commercially driven. That's where you have, like your 5-star kind of catering. But I'm saying that we can get better. But
which is what we all want, though. Hence the conversation is to say, how do we get better? Because it's in everybody's interest. It's not a case of shooting anybody down. It's a case of how can we revive this? Because there's so many big names. You would know that if I talk of a Gerald Sibek, or if I talk about Nkosinathi Nhleko, or if I talk about a Stephen Pinar, if I talk about a Dylan Shepherd, a Bernard Parker, you name it, all of those guys were all products of the School of Excellence, Dane Clates of the world. So my very straightforward question that begs maybe an honest answer from you is, in the 6 years where you haven't been able to run, the nationwide scouting that you used to use and have and produce before, how close was the school from closing?
Well, I think beside the incidents that happened last year, I wouldn't say it was we're closing. I think what had happened is that there was an agreement between the Department of Education and Transnet, and the department had requested that they will take over the school from the 1st of April, and that was in terms of taking the school footstool. But that did not materialize, and from the Transnet point of view, that their understanding was that the department will take over as agreed, and that did not happen. So then it was a question of us having to go back now to Transnet so that they can restart this process of unbundling the institution from the Transnet Foundation. So it wasn't the question of closing. This issue has been on the table even before the Ntate Brian Molefe's CEO-ship, I think 2010. And the question, this program was mainly to answer the national question, which was, why is the School of Excellence only in Gauteng? And for you to able to expand, the school needed to generate its own income, because remember, when you are funded, you are going to be limited by what is allocated to you, and you can't expand. So the issue has been on the table for the longest of time. And if you look at when Tate Molefe was there, you look at Tate Gama when he was there, even under Tate Gama, they came up with the commercialization business plan. Unfortunately, with what happened, transpired with state capture, then that fell apart. But the program has been there to say, let's unbundle the school, let it be independent, let it create its own revenue so that it can able to expand even to other provinces.
So when you talk about independence, and that's a key word, independent from what? From like the mother body SAFA, independent from who?
Remember, the school is a trust.
Yeah,
and it's co-founded by SAFA and Transnet. So the question was now to, because under the current environment, it's very difficult to generate income.
Yeah.
So we can't engage in commercial activities.
But do you believe, though, if you were an independent entity, minus SAFA, you would be able to go to the market and say, here is what we've had traditionally as a very successful model that has produced excellent football players that have prided South Africa not only locally but on the international stage. We stand alone, we are an independent, and we can even expand to other provinces around the country. Do you believe, though, that will be workable even more than the current structure?
Look, I think it depends on, if we reach a position whereby our parents say, look, it's time for you to be independent, then that becomes the route. But if the position should change to say, no, you still remain, our child will look after you, then we have to operate. But take it this way. Look at the Curo model. This conversation, we had it when Curo was not even, And if we moved from that period, I think 2010, the market was ready. If you look at the black middle class, when the school started, we practically did not have a black middle class. Now you do. You have people that can afford private education, they can afford healthcare, big houses, and so the demand is there. Even now there are people that come and say, look, I want to bring my son to the school, I don't mind paying. But because of the regulation and how the school was formed, we can't accept money. So if we go that route, I believe that the model can work. Of course, you then will be moving away from the primary beneficiaries, which is kids from disadvantaged background, to more affluent black middle class space. But if you look now, you look at Pitso Msimani, is going into that space. You look at Curo, it's operating successfully in that space. And as a school, we are offering, when they are in a partnership, we are offering both education and football. So the market is there, and it's just a question of saying, do we then transition the school from a donor-funded model to a commercial model? And obviously then it means that you are going to talk to a different market segment.
I'm looking forward to after the break, because I want to pick up exactly from there. Please be part of the conversation. Send us your WhatsApp voice notes. Call directly in studio 011-838-947.
#MSW live now on 947 Vuma FM, Rise FM, and Soweto Live at the same time. #MSW.
Are you living with diabetes? Tired of painful fingerstick tests? The Freestyle Libre 2 system by Abbott Laboratories sends glucose readings straight to your compatible smartphone. With minute-by-minute glucose readings, optional glucose alarms, and excellent accuracy, the Freestyle Libre system is here to support you in the management of your diabetes. For more information and where to buy Freestyle Libre 2, speak to your healthcare professional or visit www.freestylelibre.za.com. Now available at your local pharmacy.
This is the drive that history promised, lined up next to 3 generations that paved the way. Now begins a new era of iconic. The 4th generation Suzuki Swift comes with cruise control, 6 airbags, hill hold control, and projector headlights. You also get the punchy 1.2-litre engine, which delivers class-leading fuel efficiency at just 4.4 litres per 100 kilometres. Feel iconic with the new Suzuki Swift from just 219,900. Visit suzukiauto.co.za to book a test drive. T's and C's apply.
When Tulufelo was young, she cried when she heard that the foot bones connected to the leg bone and the leg bones connected to the knee bone. The last time she had somebody crack their knuckles, she cracked. And her knees go weak at the sight of her very own Kismadolo. You see, Tulufelo is one of the few that has a fear of bones. Tulufelo, this is a message for you. Chicken licking soul bites are boneless. Boneless bites of soul. Get 9 bite-sized, bone-free, delicious soul bites for only $45. For people like you, Tulufelo, and everyone else. Chicken licking, soul food.
Are you ready to take control of your financial future? With personalized solutions tailored to your audacious goals. African Bank is more than just a bank. We are your provider. T's and C's apply.
Skipping a red robot is a no. Aibo! So is taking a short left on your insurance premium payment. A wise move is paying your monthly premiums to enjoy having uninterrupted car and home insurance cover. Make the wise move to iWise today for reliable car and home insurance. For a quote, visit iwise.co.za. iWise is underwritten by Old Mutual Insure Limited, a licensed FSP and non-life insurer.
Previously on Marawa Sports Worldwide.
I did say it correctly though, eh? Vilasa. That's it. And I've been biting my tongue the whole afternoon about that. So it's the Racing Time Attack series, and we're chatting about it. Swartcourt Raceway in May.
Yeah, so I mean, Time Attack worldwide is the biggest form of growing motorsport. You know, in America, it's absolutely huge. I mean, they run events over 4 days sometimes.
What are the Americans doing right? Because I always say that there's always learnership to be taken from other countries. So
I think what America has got right is that there's a lot of big corporates that pour a lot of money into them and want these events to happen. I think as a general, I think America's population for motorsport and hunger for motorsport is also a lot bigger.
#MSW. #MSW. Wednesday nights, soccer nights, your nights.
And Rob and Mr. Mathebula. Mr. Mathebula, I just want to take you back to 2001 Pirates Cup quarterfinal game against the Orlando Pirates under-21 team that was captained by Umoha Nkota. You had Rene as the captain, Casanova in goal, Urulwane Onela, Jabu Mukone, Kutlwana Lethaku. You had Kemis as well. Khalalelo was playing as a left fullback. And Ngululeko and Siabonga Mabena. And for me, that was one of the most tactically and technically well-developed School of Excellence team for many years. And it's by no surprise that many of those boys were then integrated into big PSL teams after that tournament. And do you think South Africans are realizing that School of Excellence is developing early bloomers? Many of them go to big teams at an early age. They are then integrated into big teams and they are unveiled as development players for those teams and living out that footprint of School of Excellence in their career. Do you think if that can be understood, many will start taking School of Excellence serious? And I just want to compliment you and your team for the incredible work, and the late Coach Mabena for the work that you guys have done. You are doing at School of Excellence, and I'm enjoying the under-15 boy Umodrich. He's something for the future. Thank you so much, Tebogo.
Tebogo, thank you so much indeed. I mean, it's taking us down memory lane, especially with that lineup. I could see you listening and your eyes sort of sparkling at that, because it was a beautiful tournament that gave rise, I think, especially for Osia. I mean, Mabena was only, 15 years old at that stage and scored over 6 goals in the tournament, here COSAFA and the under-17 at 15 years old, because they had to push him up into more competitive age group. But for you, though, from what Tebogo was saying, I mean, how do you respond to that? Because here's somebody who's followed your work, has given you praise for what you've been doing under difficult conditions, and just what he has said overall in that voice note.
Well, I think the fault lies with us as a school, because in terms of communicating our work, we've not done a lot. We've worked in silence, behind the bush, and people tend to interact with our work only when the players get to PSL at a young age. But if you look, in recent history, our boys are getting to PSL, signing professional contract between the age of, now it's even dropping to less with Mabena, but it was roughly around 17, 18. People have argued that we've stopped producing, but here's the thing. If you look from generations, so let's say players who were born in 2000, players who were born in 2001, and you come this way, you will see that in each and every generation, there's been 2 players to 3 players who've made it professional. Yes, some of them, their careers might not have taken over like that of Steven Pinar, but the fact remains that each generation has had a representation. Even the ones that he's mentioning, I mean, if you look at Kutlano, it's a different generation. You look at Relebohile, it's a different generation. You look at Mabena, it's a different generation. Now, recently, about 2 days ago, 3 days when Cape Town City was playing, they introduced Emil Vetboy. It's a different generation. So there's never been a time whereby there is a generation that completes their matric and no one is signed. However, one has to acknowledge that we've not done a good job in terms of communicating this to the public.
All right. I'm going to break away for 2 seconds. And I think it's celebrating his baby there, David Miller. he just said, in the way David Miller always does, I do not care right now. We are going out. He hits 100. So it's all over. New Zealand have won. And it's done and dusted. But all I'm saying is that in the midst of all of that, when you have somebody who is as brave as what David Miller is and gets a century, we've got to doff our hats, break away from any conversation that we might be having right now. Because, yes, New Zealand have won by 50 runs. Everything squares up. 100 on the final ball, he gets it. They win by 50 runs. It's done. So congratulations, New Zealand.
Hi Rob, this is Tomiat from Edenville. Greetings to you and greetings to Mr. Mojalefa. Rob, I want to find out from him, why is the School of Excellence facility in Fontaine neglected? It now looks like a grazing land, Rob. Are they doing something about it, or they've just given up on it? Because once put a very good facility, but it's surprising to see it dilapidating in that state. Thanks, Rob. Listen on the radio.
Evening, Big Rob, and evening to Mr. Mojalefa. Mr. Mojalefa, I hear that you're looking to go into a different market with the school now. But before that, in order for you guys to think and to restructure the school, what actually happened for the school to be where it is right now? Was the mismanagement of funds? Were the people benefiting via the school? What can you tell us in that in terms of that space? Thank you, Mr. Marao.
I don't know. Is that an easy or difficult one? If you had to be honest and say what led to the demise of the place. The previous voice note also spoke about the same thing. It's dilapidated. It looks like, cows can go grazing. People always come up with all sorts of stories. But where do you think it tanked and went down?
Look, like I said, I think we need to separate issues. I think there is an issue of infrastructure. It has all these challenges. But you get a sense that people are trying to mix the two. We can discuss the issue of infrastructure and how the school looks, but that has no implication on the program. Hence, I said to you, go and look at the past 10 years results. You will see that the school has been achieving over 90%, which is higher than the national average in terms of pass rate. So you can't then argue that the school is falling down when we are almost at the space we are competing with the top schools in terms of.
So the school, in terms of the schooling side
and
has
football,
maintained the excellence. And obviously, like you were saying, that with the Mufugengs of this world, with the Mabanas, Letlakus of this world, it has maintained because it's still producing that pipeline into the professional league.
So the issue of infrastructure, it's related to the budget. Like I said, Robert, we are donor funded. So if people come and say, okay, this year we are going to give you 10 rand and your expectation is 12 rand, then you have to make adjustments. And I'm sure even yourself, if you are running the school and you have 10 rand, you will not starve the kids so that the building looks beautiful. You will prioritize the well-being of the kids, and with the hope that in time things will change. Unfortunately, like I said, we are affected by the economy like everybody else, and the fact that we are not generating our own income, but we are relying on donor funding. You can work with whatever that you are given, and within the Transnet Foundation, we are not the only. Transnet has Pelo Pepper, so they also had to get something there. They have rural and farm school, which is similar to what we do at the school, but this is just based on day scholars. It's not a boarding school. They have a program where they give orphans full bursaries. They take them to top schools, especially if you are, a top performer. Yeah. So they have a lot of CSI project, and we are all competing for that small budget. And when you look, the School of Excellence over time has been taking a very huge chunk of that budget because of our operation. So that's why I'm saying that we are also affected by budget cuts. But I'm sure if we get to a point whereby people come and say, okay, now we are going to give you 3 times what you are getting, will able to prioritize the look and feel of the school.
The current system, sorry to cut in, works. There was a stage where it was a month by month, and then it became a year by year. So what is it now? What's the agreement? Is to have the funding coming through? How is it a yearly arrangement?
Remember, in 2022, the CEO then announced that Transnet will go ahead with unbundling, and that decision has not been changed. Sure. So the process now, I know for a fact that Transnet has went to market to request for proposals, for people that are willing to take over and run the school. But their commitment was that their exit will be responsible. So they are not just going to leave. They're going to make sure that they hand us over to the new suitor and walk us through until they are satisfied that the school is in the right path. Remember, their business is not to run the school, it's logistics. So this was a CSI project that has overgrown to a point whereby it now needs its life of its own on the side.
Hey, but 30 years though, I mean, was it 31 years now?
Yeah, it's 31 years.
It's more than a CSI. I mean, it becomes the lifeblood of the country.
Yeah.
In terms of football.
Yeah.
I'm seeing a lot of very positive messages on social media here. TMR Zondo says we've got a legend there tonight who's worked very hard behind the scenes at the SOE. Long may the good work continue. I know that the parents at some stage, they marched to Bromfontein.
Yeah.
There was a memorandum of grievances that was handed over.
Yeah.
Are they at ease now? Are they more comfortable with the current situation?
Well, that issue, remember, when that announcement was made in 2022, there was a consultation process, and the parents and staff were consulted, and the department came on board, and they even made presentation, and everybody was happy to say then they could be handed over to the Department of Education.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, there are laws that made it difficult. I think perhaps maybe people overlook them. For example, if they have to pay me as a coach, I think you have to register with, I don't know, psych or something. Yeah. So, and for you to register, I must have a teaching qualification. So the department can't pay me when I'm not registered, So which meant that coaches could not be absolved, if that has to happen. So there was just a lot of oversight, and that's how that thing end up collapsing, and that's how the parents. But initially, the parents were happy, and they were looking forward to seeing the transition from Transnet to the Department of Education. It's only when that thing happened where now there was a bit of a handover situation that now they said, look, Transnet, you have to take over until this issue has been resolved. And after that, issue, Transnet did come back, and we've never had a problem ever since. And let me touch base on the issues of people saying electricity was cut off. That had nothing to do with the funding. If you look at how the municipality has been behaving, I think it's very strange. If you look at around Elandsfontein, there are people that you see, they bridge electricity. You can see these ones are not paid, but you hardly see them being switched off. And if with this thing of payments, it takes about 3 months. It's not a delay, but that's the process. So that's why some people pay in bulks. So with us, we had a situation whereby now suddenly people will then come and switch off and create unnecessary
But you
issues.
have lights at the moment?
No, lights have been on.
Okay.
Things have been paid.
Let me just switch on one more light because we're out of time.
Okay.
Just give me a number.
Yeah.
If in a year you needed to get funding in the same way that Transnet was giving funding, how much are you looking at now in 2025? How much would you need to keep the school more than just alive?
30 million.
30 million.
Yeah.
Mr. Mojalefa Mathebula, thank you so much for your time.
Appreciate
you.
Thanks.
All right, that's the SAFA Transnet School of Excellence. There's a football manager. Lots more to talk about on the subject. I did say to him during the ad break. Catch you again tomorrow Marawa Sports Worldwide, proudly brought to you by Hollywood Bets.
From the pitch to the podium, your all-access pass to the world of sport is right here. Marawa Sports Worldwide on 947, Vuma FM and Rise FM. Powered by Hollywood Bets. #MSW.